Okay, how you doing? Welcome back. I want to do a video today talking to you about behaviour thinking and how we can understand it and make it work in our RPG games. Before I go into the details, I'll just tell you that the model that we're using here comes from offender management programs that the UK Ministry of Justice run to address offender behaving, which is negative behaving, how they can help people to understand it and change it to kind of improve their offending. A lot of the method in it sort of translates across quite nicely to RPGs, and as a games master or DM will help you to understand your players, their characters, how they work within your game, and how you can kind of manipulate them for the best outcome to run your game how you want to and challenge their thinking. Okay, so sit tight and I'll explain all. So the basic model is split into three parts, A, B and C. So part A is your action or your encounter. And so in gaming terms it's your encounter, it's the situation that the characters or the people or whoever is in. B is the belief or the behaviour, so that's what they think about the situation they're in, their beliefs, the kind of rules they've got for the situation they're in. And C is the conclusion, so or the consequence, so kind of what they do as a result of the situation they're in, what they think about the situation they're in equals what they do in the situation that they're in. So understanding this helps us to change our games. There's two ways it can help. We can either manipulate the situation to get an outcome that we want, so we can manipulate the things we do to influence how the players behave, or if they're behaving in a way we don't like or we don't want in our games, either in that situation or as a game in overall, or even as a player who's kind of joining your game. We can use what we know to kind of start challenging that behaviour and changing that negative behaviour that we don't want. So to get a different consequence, there's two things we can do. So to change C, we either need to change A or change B. So we can change B, the thinking, by understanding the personal rule or the rule that the player or the character is using to define what they do. Once you understand that rule, you can start challenging it and tweaking it, and that in turn will mean they come to do a different thing. So for example, a rule somebody might have, a murder hobo for example, might have is every time I kill goblins I get treasure. He's got that rule because every time he's killed a goblin he's gotten treasure. It's kind of inbuilt within him, and that's the rule he works on. And so as a consequence of A, the action, seeing a goblin, his belief is if I kill goblins I get treasure, and so straight away he goes and kills that goblin. So start challenging B, start challenging that thinking. Stop giving him treasure when he kills a goblin, and then that rule will change from every time I kill a goblin I get treasure to sometimes when I kill a goblin I get treasure. Now changing a belief is quite hard because it depends greatly on how deep that belief is and how long they've had that belief. So an old age pensioner who's had a belief their whole life, it's going to be quite hard to change it, but someone with a relatively new belief is slightly easier. So conversely, you've got a player that always turns up late for your games. The situation is you've got a game running. The belief is it doesn't matter if I'm late because I'll still be allowed to play. If you start challenging that belief by enforcing some kind of negative repercussion, that belief will change to it doesn't matter if I'm late for games, I'll still be able to play except on Ollie's games because I know something bad will happen. So start challenging those beliefs, start identifying those beliefs. So where do our beliefs come from? They start off, I mean, if you're talking about a character, it should be fairly easy. If you've got a good role player, they'll be using perspective taking, another skill which I'll talk about in another video. They'll be using perspective taking to play the part of their character, and through character creation, you'll have a good idea of the beliefs that character should have, and a good role player will play through those beliefs and attitudes and thinking, and you can ask that in session 0 or in downtime, what would your character think about this, what would your character do about that? Quite easy to find out. But when they come across a part of the game where they can't use one of their character beliefs because they don't know, because they haven't thought about it, they'll revert back to their own beliefs, their player beliefs, and they can be harder. They depend on how well you know somebody. So a partner or a friend, you know their beliefs quite well. A stranger, maybe not so much. Beliefs start off as stereotypes. They come from stereotypes. We will use stereotypes. They're the first things we use when we're trying to make a decision about a situation we're unsure of. And then once we've got the stereotype in place, we then use our personal experiences, things that have happened to us in the past, things that we know to be true and facts, to start adjusting those stereotypes, fine-tuning them into the belief we have. So you will need to identify the belief that somebody has to then kind of tune in on it. So this can be true in real life. You see it all over the place. Politicians use this method, salesmen use this method, religious leaders use this method. They all kind of use actions, in their case normally questions or statements. They're kind of the action, the beginning bit, to trigger beliefs that we've all got in our heads. They base those beliefs on stereotypes. They kind of look at the people they're talking at and they make an educated guess as to the kind of beliefs that those people would have. They target questions that trigger those beliefs, and then they look for the outcome that they're looking for. You buying the car, you voting for them, your belief being reinforced in the thing that they're trying to tell you. So it's a recognised way of kind of manipulating people or just in a situation to get the outcome that you want in the real world. So now that you understand how the way that you think and the situation that you're in can affect how you react to a situation, you can use this knowledge in the real world to kind of challenge any unwanted behaviour that you've got at your table, whether it's through character behaviour or player behaviour. You can have to have an awareness of the people that you're working with and the game that you're playing in. It gives you a tolerance of other people, not just in game but in general life. If you understand your beliefs and how they affect you and what situations trigger those beliefs, it gives you a little bit more self-control. You can adjust your behaviour, as I said. Gives you the self-control to understand how you're feeling, control any anger you might have or any unwanted reactions to a situation that you might have. And it helps you to get what you want. So in game terms, if you're running a game and you want your players to do a certain thing, behave in a certain way, you can kind of manufacture the encounter to trigger beliefs that will get you that response that you're looking for. So understanding your beliefs is really useful. It can help tailor your encounters to get the response that you're looking for, to send your players down the path that you're looking for without railroading them. But it can also help you to challenge any unwanted behaviour. So identifying those beliefs, what's behind the thing that they're doing, helps you to change the thing that they're doing. And you can do that by either challenging that belief, so proving that rule that they've got is untrue because of X, Y and Z, because in this case it didn't work, so it's putting that element of doubt in that rule that they've got, slowly chipping away at it. Or you can change it by changing the situation slightly, tweaking the situation so that rule is no longer applicable. Okay, that's about all I've got to say on the matter. If you want to ask any questions, stick a thing in the comments. I'm going to do some more videos about different sort of thinking skills that we can use and translating them into RPG terms. But this is it for now, so take care, enjoy the rest of your day. Ta-da, bye.